What if the greatest superpower in leadership isn't charisma, confidence, or intelligence? What if it's the courage to be real? In a world of curated perfection, copy-paste strategies, and corporate masks, authentic leadership isn't just rare, it's revolutionary. The leaders who move mountains today are not the loudest in the room. They are the ones who lead from their core values, speak from their truth, and make decisions aligned with who they really are, not who the world expects them to be. This isn't about perfection, it's about presence. And if you're ready to lead with genuine power, build unshakable trust, and unlock the influence that only authenticity can create, welcome to Next Level Leadership, where real leaders are not made in boardrooms. They're built in the mirror. The power of showing up as you are. Authentic leadership begins at the moment you decide to stop performing and start being fully present. It's when you choose truth over polish, integrity over image, and self-awareness over external validation. Authenticity doesn't mean oversharing or ignoring feedback. It means leading from a place of deep alignment between your values, your actions, and your voice. True influence isn't granted to those who pretend to have all the answers. It's earned by those who have the humility to say, "I don't know, but I'm committed to learning." When a leader walks into a room and admits a mistake with calmness, clarity, and a lesson, what happens? People lean in. They listen. They respect it. Because the truth is, trust follows truth. The illusion of the perfect leader. Modern leadership has long been plagued by the myth of perfection, that a good leader is always composed, always confident, always decisive. But the reality? That illusion is toxic. It isolates leaders behind walls of pretense. It forces them to perform, not connect. And worse, it teaches teams to hide their own flaws, creating a culture of fear instead of growth. But when you model vulnerability, when you speak from authentic experience, even the uncomfortable ones, you give your team permission to be real too. And that is where transformation begins. When Satya Nadella took over as CEO of Microsoft, he didn't arrive with thunder. He arrived with empathy. In his first few months, he asked deep questions. He listened. He publicly acknowledged mistakes made by the company and focused the culture around learning instead of ego. The result? Microsoft's culture shifted, innovation surged, and their market cap tripled. Nadella didn't become powerful by posturing. He became powerful by being real. Define your inner compass. Before you can lead others authentically, you have to understand what authenticity means for you. Ask yourself, what do I value more than popularity? Where am I most tempted to perform instead of speak from truth? What part of my leadership voice have I been afraid to share? Write down your core values. Is it honesty, transparency, courage, humility, service? Now, rate each of those from 1 to 10. How consistently are you living these out in your work, in your team, in your decisions? If there's a gap, that's your growth zone, because alignment isn't a destination, it's a daily decision. One young founder in South Africa realized his leadership voice was being buried beneath the pressure to appear tech bro confident. But behind the scenes, he cared deeply about mental health and team connection. The moment he began opening each meeting with a 1-minute emotional check-in, his culture shifted. Productivity didn't fall. It skyrocketed. Why? Because people perform at their best when they feel safe to be themselves. Authenticity grows in brave soil. The mirror test. Here's a powerful practice. Every evening, ask yourself, did I show up as me today? Not the manager version of you, not the polished persona, you. If the answer is no, don't judge. Just ask, where did I shrink? Where did I hide? And what would it look like to try again tomorrow? But more honestly, authenticity is a muscle, not a mood. It gets stronger every time you use it. Practice honest micro moments. You don't need to deliver a TED Talk to practice authenticity. Tell a colleague, I'm feeling uncertain about this decision. Let's talk it through together. Say in a team meeting, I made the wrong call here. Here's what I learned. Tell yourself in the mirror, this isn't about being liked. It's about leading from truth. Each honest moment is a brick in the foundation of trust. And trust, my friend, is the currency of leadership. Authentic leaders don't build followers, they create leaders. When you show up as yourself, you empower others to do the same. When you remove the mask, you give your team permission to take off theirs. And when you lead from your real voice, you make your message undeniable. Not everyone will like it, not everyone will understand it. But the ones who do, they'll follow you not because they have to, but because they believe in who you are. culture, connection, and the pressure test. Let's talk about the ripple effect of authenticity. Because when a leader decides to lead from truth instead of performance, the entire culture shifts. A team reflects its leader, not just in behavior, but in emotional climate. And whether you know it or not, your team isn't just reading your emails. They're reading you. They watch how you show up in tension. They feel your energy when something goes wrong. They notice if your values collapse under pressure. Here's the hard truth. You don't build authentic culture by hanging mission statements on the wall. You build it in the moments when it's hardest to be real. Because it's easy to be authentic when things are going well. The real test? When the numbers are down, when criticism rolls in, when the easy route is to pretend, deflect, or perform. That's when most leaders buckle. That's when authentic leaders rise. In 2020, when COVID-19 decimated the travel industry, Airbnb lost nearly 80% of its business overnight. Most companies would have spun a safe PR message and silently made cuts. But CEO Brian Chesky did something few leaders would dare. He wrote a heartfelt, transparent letter to the world, and especially to the thousands of employees being laid off. He didn't hide behind corporate speak. He explained the decisions, honored each person, and even set up a job board to help every departing team member find new roles elsewhere. While Airbnb lost employees, they gained the world's respect. That's authentic leadership under pressure. Ask before you act. When you're faced with a tough call, pause and ask, is this decision aligned with my true values or just my short-term fears? If it's fear, wait, rethink. Speak from alignment, not anxiety. The 3-level authentic leadership audit. If you want to lead from truth, take yourself through this audit every quarter. Self-awareness. What emotions am I avoiding? What situations make me feel the need to perform or fake it? When do I feel most like myself? And least, voice alignment. Am I saying what I actually mean? Do my words match my inner thoughts and values? Where am I holding back because of fear? Culture transmission. Does my team feel safe to speak up? Do I reward honesty or punish discomfort? What values are being lived, not just stated? You can't expect authentic behavior from your team if you're not modeling it yourself. You set the tone. Being authentic doesn't mean being emotional all the time. It means being emotionally honest with yourself and others. You can be calm and real. You can be firm and kind. You can be strategic and vulnerable. Authentic leadership isn't about what you show. It's about what you're not hiding anymore. And when you lead from that place, your people don't just follow orders, influence, legacy, and internal freedom. There's a reason authentic leadership is rare. It demands the one thing most people are afraid to give, themselves. Not their title, not their achievements, not their carefully curated image, but their real, unfiltered self. And yet, those who dare to lead authentically unlock something most leaders never find: long-term influence, inner peace, and a legacy that doesn't fade. Authenticity creates influence that lasts. In a world driven by trends, quick hacks, and short attention spans, people are starving for something real. That's why authentic leaders don't just inspire in the moment. They linger in people's minds long after the meeting ends. It's not because they were the loudest. It's because they made others feel seen, safe, and valued. Here's the paradox. When you stop trying to impress everyone, that's when people are truly impressed. Harvard Business Review found that employees are 42% more likely to trust leaders who openly share their values, even when those values are imperfect or evolving. Authenticity shapes legacy, not just results. Your career stats might look impressive on paper, but your leadership legacy lives in what people say when you're not in the room. Did you create a space where people could grow? Did you lead with courage and kindness? Did you leave behind stronger people, or just better reports? Because authentic leaders don't just hit goals, they grow people. They lift others to discover their own voices, not just echo yours. That's leadership that outlives you. The inner freedom of being real. Here's the final, often hidden reward of authentic leadership. You stop living in fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of comparison. Fear of not measuring up to an image you created for others. If this message resonated with you, if you believe leadership starts from the inside out, then join the movement. Subscribe to Next Level Leadership for weekly scripts that sharpen your mindset, deepen your impact, and help you lead with clarity and courage. Drop a comment with this: I choose to lead with truth, and share this with one leader who needs to hear. They don't have to be perfect, just real. The next generation of leaders won't be remembered for their perfection. They'll be remembered for their authenticity. Let's raise that standard together.